Speaking of being hands full and everything, let's talk about the big news. Chris Cole back on Zero, man. Everything's 2020 is like we got Chad Muska back on Shorties. We got Chris Cole back on Zero. Like that is amazing. And I think everybody was so stoked to hear that because that's where Chris Cole belongs.
Yep.
You know, that's where he belongs,
Definitely.
dude. So congratulations on all that.
Thank you, man. It's been fun working with him and reestablishing a rapport and a kind of a working relationship has been cool. And we're in totally different places than we were, so it's been good. And also having the intentionality with the relationship and identifying what wasn't so healthy in the past and how we could change that, and actually having a sit down with him and talking through that. Amazing. And kind of identifying what we want the relationship to be like and how we can make it work and what's expected of him and what's expected of me and where I'm at and how I see it and where he's at and how he sees it. And it was great, man. It's a very organic because it took like a year of us talking and kind of like working it out. And also getting to know each other again because we didn't really we weren't in each other's lives that often. It was very rare that we hung out.
Right.
For probably about 4 or 5 years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And even at the end of him riding for Zero, I was really engaged in the company and he was really engaged in his kind of contest career, as like street league and,
totally.
Even at the tail end of the Maloops and all of that stuff was taken off. That turned into such a big part of his life. And he was hanging and traveling with a different group of dudes. And, there was like this divide where it was a fork in the road,
Sure.
Like Zero stayed on this path. And then it was clear that, we were just growing in different directions.
Mm-hmm. And that happens, right? That's just the nature of life,
Yeah.
How did that conversation come back into play? For him riding for Zero?
Well, I think he was, plan B wasn't working out. And I think that was pretty clear. It wasn't working for a while for whatever reason. And he knew that wasn't going to be his future. And so he made that decision without us even being in the picture. You know, maybe he had an idea that it'd be cool to get back on Zero. Or I think now that I think about it and I've heard about it, I think it was either I'll see what's up with getting back on Zero or I'll start my own thing.
Right.
Those are kind of the two options, right? Because, getting on another established brand, for someone with that, that decorated of a history it's kind of hard to make that fit.
Yep.
And so starting your own brand would work because you can make it whatever you want to make it.
Totally.
And going back to Zero would work because there's so much history and there's so much legacy that you can kind of just tap right back into.
Exactly.
And that one obviously seems like the easiest as far as how much heavy lifting he has to do at this point in his life.
Yeah.
But we didn't have a relationship. So it's not really that easy when you think about it like that. I mean, we had a cordial relationship.
Sure.
We've always been pretty cool, but it wasn't like we were hanging out and skating together. So, to answer your question, Kelly, he started hanging out with Dane, and Dane basically brought it up and was like, hey, I've been skating with Cole a lot. He's in a good place. What do you think about him riding for Zero? And I was, I immediately my business mind said, that's a great fit. Everyone would love that. All of his fans, all the Zero fans, everyone would celebrate that.
Totally.
But then I got to, that's more like a licensing deal. That's we're licensing his name and we're making skateboards with Chris Cole's name on it. Because if we don't have a current relationship and a current rapport that's weekly, then that's a business deal. And that's okay. But Zero has gotten to a place where it's kind of more like this organic. We only have 5 employees. We have a small team. Everybody hangs out and everybody communicates well and everybody gets along well. And so it's kind of like him coming to Zero back in the beginning, not in the height of our business days.
Right.
Yeah. And when I say back at the beginning, meaning when our distribution kind of crumbled and things like Fallen, the footwear brand, wasn't really like doing what it used to be doing. And it made sense for Zero to kind of like reestablish its roots and kind of rebuild itself. I took it way back, because I didn't feel like there was going to be any quick fix for us out there. I felt like, if, for example, like you have some crazy partnership with Billabong or Sector 9 or whatever, like that would have given us the resources in order to rebuild.
Sure.
But then it would have been this like bizarro version of itself.
Yeah.
I felt like it really made the most sense to like really humble ourselves and go, okay, what are the best parts of this? Let's go back and let's rediscover the best parts of what we've had and what we've done. And let's try and reinvigorate that and organically grow that again.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then that's what we've been doing for the past 2 to 3 years, maybe even a little longer, 4 years. And after we left Dwindle, and to have Cole just plug into that, like it felt really forced. So it was like, hey, that sounds like a great idea, but let's slow down and take some time and talk about it. And, I need to really sit down with Cole and, we need to talk about the past. We need to talk about the present. We need to talk about the future and kind of see if we can have a meeting of the minds.
Yeah.
So I know this is a long-winded explanation.
No,
it's great.
Worthy,
No.
totally worthy.
Yeah, it really was that. So the conversation came up about a year and a half ago, or maybe a year and 8 months.
Yeah.
And it took probably a year until we were ready to go with it. And then we kept it a secret for about 6 months as we planned it.
That's what Cole was saying. He was like, I'd have to like change my board and then go to here and take a photo and then change my, but like he said, it was just a back and forth battle, which is fine. I mean, a lot of people do that.
Yeah, and it was cool that people were speculating this when he quit Plan B, but it wasn't time and it wasn't ready. So the rumors were already going, and then people got tired of waiting, thinking, oh, maybe it's not true, or maybe it won't ever happen. And I think that a lot of people started kind of giving up that it might not happen right around the time it happened. So I think it like really worked organically perfect.
And I think timing is everything. Timing's everything. Sometimes you can't plan timing and it just happens, and that's the timing, But I think it was, like you said, I think it was kind of out of nowhere. We were this Instagram post. Everybody was just like, "Oh my God, this is incredible! Like he's back on Zero. It's real. So sick, so sick."
Yeah, it was cool, and it was so good. Like once we had the meeting of the minds, and once we started working together and outlining what our roles were going to be and how we were going to execute in those roles, and it started really like feeling really good, like getting to a point where it was like probably more real and more balanced than it ever was in the past. Amazing. Because we're both like, more mature versions of ourselves. And, and I think that he's even, kind of grown a lot in the last like year and a half, like since we've been in the discussion. So it just kind of got better and better and started making more sense. And as our relationship, got closer, we started having more and more mutual respect and more, better communication. And, I don't know. It felt really natural and the timing was perfect.
Yeah.
And you're right. There hasn't been a whole lot of good news this year. And to have Cole and Muska reuniting with Shorties in the same week is
so
pretty
amazing,
cool.
bro.
Yeah.
Man. And like Cole was saying too, I mean, just kind of getting back, he said something to the effect of like just how well you guys work together, with graphics and this and that. Like he said, it was just kind of like this, like organic, like something to the sense of like how he forgot of just how well you guys meshed,
Yeah. I would agree with that. And I think that in the peak of my career or even my business career, in the peak of my success, I don't think I was the best version of myself. And I think that in this rebuilding process, I feel that I've gone through some, personal challenges and personal changes and started to work on better communication habits and starting to like get perspective of my life's priorities and not placing so much emphasis on every little decision. And being and really practicing a flexibility and an understanding. So like, because we had this plan that Cole was going to drop a video part the day the day, you know, on Monday, like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
That was the plan. And then, you know, he had a couple of injuries while he was filming, and then we didn't get the rights to the song. We were just going to do like a minute, not even a full video part, just like a minute of Chris Cole celebrating Zero.
Yeah.
We were excited about it, and that's what he was doing that, like changing the board for, because he was filming, you know, when he was filming in a private setting, he would ride a Zero board, because you don't want to have a video part of all blank boards, you know?
Yeah.
So he would ride a Zero board, and then he'd go to the park and ride one of his like spray paint boards or whatever. But you know, what happened is that we turned in the ad that, you know, we asked Thrasher, like, when's this ad hit? And they were like, you know, September 15th, you know, or September 20th or something. And so we turned in the ad, and the ad in the issue got seen a week earlier than any other issue had in like whatever, a super long time.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
And so the week before it dropped, we were on a, you know, like a work call, like we do these Zoom calls, like basically what we're doing now.
Yeah.
And for our Zero group calls, like work, and a text just popped up on someone's feed, and they just put it right in the group chat, and like not the team group chat, but the employee group chat, and someone was holding the magazine, and it's like 5 days before we're supposed to release.
Wow.
And so I think the old version of me would have just been like trying to control that circumstance. But I was just like, okay, cat's out of the bag. What do we do? All right, we gotta own the news. One person has the magazine in Milwaukee. That's all we know.
In Milwaukee. Yeah.
And the reason
That's
it's
the info
Milwaukee
we
is
got.
that's where Brown Printing, the publishing company, is.
Okay.
So it basically got shipped to the local shops the next day, and they saw it before everyone else.
Wow.
So, but I was like, still, California's going to get it before the weekend. You know, this is like Thursday or something.
Right.
You know, or Wednesday. And so we were supposed to drop the following Monday. So I just like, hey guys, I got to get off the call. I got to figure this out. I just got off the call, and I was like, you know what are we losing? And I go, all we're losing is not having all of this stuff happen like lightning in a bottle all in one day.
Right.
And then I was like, it doesn't matter. Like, we just got to get in front of this. And I feel like I was like having a meeting with myself about how to like drop this news. And I wasn't trying to like act like it was the biggest news in the world, but for us, it was big news. We've been talking about it a while. We'd been dreaming about how it was going to go down. And now the plan is foiled. So I just called Cole and I said, hey man, the mag's out early. I just got a text and a photo of it. It'll probably be in people's hands in the next few days. This is my idea. And I just think we take your ad, we break it into 2 sliders, and we just like own the news and just tell everybody. And then I was like, this is my wording. What do you think? Welcome back. And then your name.
That's all you need to say.
And tell the people the date the boards drop. Because, you know, in theory, the idea is like, you know, you tell everybody about it and you say a board's available now. Wouldn't that be awesome? You know, but it kind of was even better, because now we could say boards are available on the 14th. And then the day before the 14th, we could say boards available tonight at midnight.
You work with it, right? You work with what you got.
Yeah.
What would the old Jamie would have done?
I think
He looks to the
I think I don't know what I would have done. What's up, Jeremy? My friend Jeremy's here. Can you say hi?
What up, Jeremy?
What's up, dude?
Go Nine Club.
Yeah.
What's good?
Nice one, bro. Thank you, bro.
Jeremy grew up snowboarding in Utah, but he's a great skateboarder too.
Amazing.
Nice.
I would see him randomly in 4-in-1s sometimes.
Yeah.
411 guy over here. I love it.
No, but
I don't know what I would have done, but I think that I would have stressed really hard about it all, and I don't have that in me anymore.
Yeah.
I just was like, okay, what can I control and what can I not control?
Yeah.
I can't control that the mag's out. What can I control? How we break the news.
Right.
And, you know, just kind of thinking about that, having positive self-talk, and then calling Cole and asking him what his thoughts on my plan were. And he was like skating. He's like, sounds good. Yeah. Sounds good. And I was like, all right, well, that's what we're doing. I'll send you some assets if you want to post about it today. He's like, yeah, whenever you guys post, I'll post right after.
Amazing. But also we're in a different age though. We're in the digital age where you're talking about old Jamie, like you have control over everything. You have control over the ads, you have control over, but now it's social media. Like nothing's a secret anymore, you know, as we've come to find out.
Ironically, though, we got foiled by the old way. We got foiled by an ad.
Well, that's true. But
You're getting foiled by it by having the old thing, but the digital is taking over
It's
that.
still taking over. Yeah, true. That's how we're going to see it.
It's so weird how that works.
Yeah.
But that news in general is so powerful that that's all you need at that point.
That's true.
You know what I mean? You don't need this video part to go along with it. It's like
that's where we were at. Like once it broke, I was like, okay, people just wanted the news, and that's good enough. They don't even know if there's ever going to be a video part. They don't even care.
Yeah. Right. Straight
and
up.
So we had like, we didn't have the rights to the song yet. So then we were like, okay, well, it's not dropping on Monday regardless. And the rights came a week later, but we were like, oh, now it's like, maybe we should just make it, maybe we should just keep filming and we'll see what it turns into, because this isn't necessary.
Yeah.
So I said, you know, he was like, well, I'm going out on Saturday with Vinny, you know, our filmer. And then I'm going out tonight and we're lighting up a spot. And I'm like, dude, how about we just go skate this weekend and have fun, and I'll just film you with my phone and we'll get some assets and promote this thing. And he goes like, what, I shouldn't go film? And I was
He's like,
no,
who is this?
Wait.
And I go, well, first off, you don't have to ever film tricks if you don't want to. You've already done your work. You've already put in the time. You've already done all that. So if you want to do that, that's you. That's up to you.
Legend.
But where I'm at, people just want to see you and I doing stuff together.
Yes.
So like, let's just go skate some benches and film some flat ground. So, you know, I love that stuff, and I love filming with my phone. So I was like, we just met at a spot. He had a couple spot ideas. We met at a spot, and I filmed a couple ledge lines of them, and I put that out on my Instagram, and then
so sick.
You know, we put something else on Zeros, and we shot some photos, and you know, he's still a workhorse. Like he's still down to put it down. So we went to like a couple spots over a couple days and just filmed some like cool stuff. You know, just made sure we stayed out of skate parks.
Yeah.
You know, he gets enough of that already on his Instagram.
Sure.
We don't need more of it. So even if he's just skating flat ground on a parking lot, at least he's not at a skate park. So we just focused on that and had fun and goofed off. And, you know, he's a skate nerd. I'm a skate nerd. Like, I'm filming a flat ground edit of him, and he's talking about the way he does tricks, and he's just got to get his shoulders to rotate. And I'm talking through it with him. I'm like, yeah, if your foot's in the corner. And we're talking like the mechanics of it all. And
So crazy.
I realized that, you know, we're different in lots of ways, but in lots of ways we have a lot of commonalities, and that's how it always worked. Like whenever you know, we were filming video parts back in the day, I was helping him by talking through the tricks, and almost like a golf caddy, as I imagine. I don't play golf.
That's a good way to break it down.
Totally.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah.
I don't play golf, but I talked to Drake Jones about golf caddying one time, and he was a caddy for a long time for like semi-professional golfers.
Oh.
And Drake was a great golfer.
Hell yeah.
But Drake told me that basically the caddy is to think bigger picture and to help with all the small decisions with a different perspective that the golfer who's so focused on the game might not be able to see.
Yes.
And so I always like thought about that, and I was like, wow, that's really cool. I didn't know that like that your caddy is like your voice of reason.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
And so when Cole and I are filming stuff together, you know, if a trick's not working, I'm suggesting options. I'm like talking about like, oh, what if you did this trick instead, or what if, you know, you did it this way or that way, and what if I filmed it like this? It would still anyway. I realized we did that forever.
Yeah,
we did that for so long, like through all those video parts. Like when the very beginning, when I was actually filming him before we like started hiring filmers. I was actually filming him. That's what our dialogue would be at the beginning of lines, you know, and we'd be changing tricks and like coming up with new ideas. Just like you guys know, your filmer, when you're in the thick of it, your filmer is your dog.
Yeah.
He's like, it's like you and him.
Yep.
And that is the bond that is making it happen. Without him encouraging you, and without your guys' rapport, like you're dead in the water.
Totally.
Sure.
Yeah. And so we spent a few days on a really mellow level, just like goofing around and, you know, kind of like playing those roles. And it was so cool. Yeah, it was really cool.
And sometimes that kind of stuff pops off more than like a very calculated video part or ad, because at the end of the day too, like you said before, man, I want to see Jamie Thomas and Chris Cole just goofing off in a parking lot and like having fun. That's what I want to see. You know, Reynolds posts mellow lines of him just cruising and, you know, alling over a little bit. It's so rad.
Yeah,
that's what it's
boiled
boiled down to these days. I love the
Yeah.
simpleness of like, you can just go out and film cool tricks that you want to film.
Yeah.
And there's no like heaviness about like, did I just put that out? Should I have put that out? No, dude, put that shit out.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I think that Reynolds and Ellington are great examples of I can't get enough of it. Just show me yourself like living in the wild and skating and like doing tricks and like have a, you know, Ellington where you like, he puts the fall in where he like does a roll and then catches his hat. Like that's a trick. Like he just that's a trick. And I'm, you know, and I just see Ellington's post, like 3-flip no slide on a curb, all sick and some weird shoes. And I'm like, I just sent him a text like, I love this. I could watch this all day. More of this, please.
Definitely.
And so when talking to Cole, I actually had to talk him out of going filming for the weekend. So I was like, look, man, if you go out tonight and light stuff up, you're not gonna be any use to me at the Ledges tomorrow.
we can't go have fun. Come on.
Jamie, you've really changed, dude. Wow. That's amazing.
I love this. I love it.
I have a clear understanding for what my role is now.
Yeah.
I think that I didn't always have that before. And my role is to encourage these guys to do what they want to do and to shine and continue doing what they love.
But you don't think you were doing that? Like, we'll use new Jamie and old Jamie. You don't think you were doing that old Jamie, though? You were encouraging people maybe in a different way?
I think I was doing that, but I just think that I was more rigid in what we had to do. And I think that I wasn't as accepting if either someone disagreed and it's not like I fought with them.
Sure.
You know, but I had a more difficult time when I set my sights on something, letting go of it. And even if I was like envisioning and dreaming something up for someone, or if someone said, hey, I want to do this trick. And then I would be like, okay, it's my job to help you get the trick done. I'm the excuse eliminator. I'm bondoing the crack. I'm putting the plywood in. I'm de-knobbing the rail. I'm doing whatever I got to do because that's our collective goal.
Yep.
And I had a really difficult time letting go of that vision. Whereas now I feel like my priorities are the relationship and that's over the trick.
Respect.
And so now my priority is if the relationship is intact and we are good and we're supporting each other and we're making something happen, the trick is like, it's not as important and we can make it translate. We just have to be creative in how we're going to make it translate into something that has emotion or feeling or that is great to watch. Yeah. And so that is the difference. The old me would have said, find a new song, call a friend's band. We're getting a different track. We're getting 3 tricks this weekend and we're jamming the part out for a minute with the old track. That's what I would have done.
Okay. Oh, wow. Right.
Wow, man. Salute to your growth, bro. I mean, I think seriously, I think that's fucking amazing to, you know, obviously see yourself as, you know, from the past and now you see that, you know, you're trying to correct that in any way, shape, or form, bro. And I commend you on that, bro. Good shit.
Thank you. I appreciate it. You know what is the best feeling about that? Like, I appreciate you saying that, Jeron. But going, like Cole coming in and me asking him on Friday before the boards drop, him coming in on Friday and me talking to him and going like, hey, do you mind coming by the office so we can like talk about a good plan for the weekend? And because I'd love to, you know, make sure that you use your time wisely or that we do the best, you know, we can at putting something out. He came by and I guess like, first off, man, I know you got a family and I know that you're sore. Like he's been beating himself up skating and filming, you know, like skating in parks and stuff and filming tricks occasionally for a couple of years. And then to try and go back and to really get back into the streets. Like I know how tough that is. That's not easy to do, man. There's a lot of mental drama that comes with that. And that's not even to mention the physical stress that you put on your bodies, you know, and he's 38. Yeah. So I know what that's like and I've done that. So I was just like, hey, first off, I just want to let you know that like, I know that you got, you know, his hip was black. And I was like, I know you're beat up. Like, let's do something fun and let's like find a way to make something happen that you know, is not putting more stress on you.
Yeah.
And he was just like, he looked at me and was just like, he smiled and goes, oh, thanks, man.
This is the best. Yes.
And it's that my point of that is not to re-say the same thing over again.
Sure.
My point was to say that he was appreciative that I was understanding to what he was facing, and that I was willing to be, and that I was trying to encourage him to relax a little and let's have fun with this release instead of making it something serious. And let's push that thing out. And you can put that part out at any time, or you could never put it out. We could just, you know, you could trickle it out one trick at a time. There's no.
I love it. I love it.
It's really rad.
Yeah, man.
All in all, it was really cool. And it was obviously a success. The midnight thing really worked. We put up these limited edition signed boards, signed and numbered boards. He signed them, I numbered them.
Rad.
You know, and it was really cool, man. It was like, it worked. And he didn't have to do anything. He didn't have to stay up late, but he did. He stayed up till midnight and posted this board.
Yeah, dude.
This board. Were you just checking out your switch manny real quick?
You caught me, Jamie. You caught me.
I just
Mid conversation, I'm like checking. Jamie, to tell you the truth, I checked our recording stuff to make sure that everything's still recording.
He's like, wait, man. There's been a lot of talk about Cole, man. I want to make sure my switch manny's on.
Make sure. And plus, I do have to make sure it's still playing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But no, I have to make sure shit's still recording, dude, because I can't.
That was good.
Well,